From News Watch 12, this is College Football Game Night.
Oh, college football, how I hate to love you. Peyton and I are going to put on a smile tonight, but just know inside,
we're going to try.
We are very mad at you, Alabama. Welcome to Game Night. I'm Madison Marie.
Great way to start the night. I'm Peyton Manny. What a day.
What a day. What a
I don't
season.
want to talk about it anymore.
What a
Let's
year.
move on.
You know what?
I'm done.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, let's talk about something else.
Yes,
Let's
please.
move on.
Please.
What felt like a large amount of optimism at the beginning of the season has now turned into a scary sight, similar to how we're feeling.
I was going to say.
Perfect timing.
That's for maybe a couple teams.
So in the midst of a 5-game losing streak, the Oregon State Beavers desperately needed a change.
After a 28-0 shutout to Air Force last week, the Beavs had no choice but to put the past in the past, now facing a Pacific Northwest rival.
A season on the line in Corvallis, final home game of the year at Reser. Pac-12 rivalry, Washington State claiming earlier in the week they don't like Oregon State. Well, the Beavers took that to heart. Opening drive, Wazoo. The Beavers defense swarming and sending a message to John Mateer. This is our house. The Beavers force a quick 3-and-out. Next drive for Oregon State. Trent Bray feeling gutsy, going for it on 4th down. Ben Gulbranson to Terry. Perfectly placed. Nice catch and drive continues.
Couple plays later, Jabari Johnson in for a goal. Branson Johnson running like his feet are on fire, breaks a tackle and slices his way into the end zone. Where has this offense been for weeks? That's the question of the night. But we've got a game in Corvallis. Next Cougars drive, Mateer plenty of time, finds Hernandez over the middle. Cougars making it a game. They tack on a field goal on their next drive. Wazoo leading 10-7 early in the second quarter. Buckle Branson was cooking up something in the first half. He finds Terry again all the way down to the 1-yard line. Beavs back within striking distance.
And on the very next play, this time from 1 yard out, he's in. The Beavers are back in front 14-10 over Washington State. So the Cougs now need an answer. And Mateer is there to answer the call. On the keeper, powers his way in past the goal line. Washington State retakes the lead with 50 seconds left. Cougars looking like they're going to head into halftime with the lead, but Gulbranson and the Beavers making magic happen. Reddicks hauls it down near the pylon, and the Beavers, are they really going to take the lead before the half?
16 seconds left. Gulbranson tush push past the sticks. That's a touchdown for the senior. A perfect first half.
The Beavers got a field goal to start the second half, and then the Cougars strike Kyle Williams, a long touchdown run. The Cougars tie it up as he passes into the red zone. Now heading into the fourth, the Beavers with a touchdown lead. Mateer runs it in himself, and this game once again is tied.
And then disaster for OSU. Gulbranson picked off by Buda Alcada, and then he goes back to the house. Wazoo takes a touchdown lead.
Back and forth.
Push coming to shove for the Beavs. 2:52 left, 3rd and goal. Gulbranson hits Darius Clemens. The Beavers going in clutch mode. Tie game again.
Potential game-winning drive coming up next. The pass completed. Fighting for the first down. Ball hits the deck. Beavers on the recovery. 3rd and 6 now. Anthony Hankerson wide open. He drops it. Nobody in front of him. It's kind of a mistake for the Beavers.
4th and 6, Beavs go for it. Trent Walker answers the call. The Beavs have life for a field goal. A 54-yard attempt for Everett Hayes with 26 seconds left. No doubt. He kicked that all the way to the local boys. The final 41-38. Oregon State snaps their 4-game losing streak. Stat sheet, Oregon State Beavers putting up better numbers in every aspect of this game tonight. OSU coming out with 484 total yards. The Cougs ending the game with only 368. Through the air, the Beavers racked up 314 yards, holding Washington State to only 234.
On the ground, Oregon State rushed for 170 yards. The Cougs only 134. Ben Gulbranson setting the tone tonight. He went 17 of 23 for 262 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception.
Anthony Hankerson led the run game with 16 carries for 51 yards. Trent Walker making the list with 9 receptions for 123 yards.
Jabari Johnson, Jermaine Terry, and Allah each added on a touchdown. And one final game for the Beavers. They'll hit the road to face Boise State and the Broncos.
The Beavers have the advantage in the all-time series, leading at 6-4. Oregon State beat the Broncos 34-17 in 2022.
Next season, these two will be in the same conference, Pac-12. Kickoff set for 9 a.m.
SOU football ended their season last week.
Now entering the postseason, the Raiders have a lot to hold on to. That and more coming up next on Game Night.
Live from News Watch 12. Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Sad week with no SOU football to show. The Raiders ended their season last week in heartbreak.
We're just starting each block off with sadness after sad
Mm-hmm.
news. We'll get happy sometime.
But that Oregon State game, that was good news.
That was exciting.
So,
we ended it.
yeah,
Excitement.
well, maybe we'll end better than we start.
Oh, we'll see.
That's always better.
SOU had one game left on the schedule against College of Idaho. A win would have solidified their spot in the NAIA Championship Series for the first time since 2017.
Coach Brown saying it was a disappointing way to go out, especially for the seniors. But when you look back at everything this 2024 team did, the guys have so much to be proud of, and the Raiders will come out on fire next season.
In only his second year at the helm, Coach Brown was honored as AFCA Co-Coach of the Year after leading the Raiders to an 8-3 overall record and a 5-3 record in conference play.
The Raiders went undefeated at home and posted their highest win total in 7 years. The guys also never fell from the top 25 and even ranked as high as 7 after upsetting 2 top 10 ranked opponents in consecutive weeks.
Mind blown with both of those. SOU ranked 10th nationally in points and 11th in takeaways, while also producing the NAIA's top rusher in Gunnar Yates. And let's not forget about the sophomore who broke a few records this year as well. Coach Brown spoke with Newswatch 12 Sports about the season, and we'll hear from him later in the week.
The top-ranked Ducks on a bye week, looking to improve on the success they've had.
What's next for Oregon? Coming up on Game Night.
Live from News Watch 12. Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
In their first year as a member, you made me laugh. Now we're happy. In their first year as a member of the Big Ten Conference, the Oregon Ducks are headed to the Big Ten Championship game. And on a bye week, the Ducks remain unbeaten and #1 in the country. You can't make me laugh, Van.
I'm just so happy we're laughing right now because a couple minutes ago we were not. Now the Ducks' opponent in the championship game remains undetermined even after how things played out across the conference today. But before Oregon can jump to that game, they have one more regular season matchup.
Oregon remained at the top of the polls in the AP Top 25 and the college playoff picture. It's their 5th consecutive week at #1.
The Ducks headed into this week's bye coming off a win against Wisconsin. Oregon slid by with a 16-13 final. Ooh, man, their lowest scoring performance all season. Here's Dan Lanning.
Ultimately, I think every team I've been a part of that's had success has had resilient, games, wins that required everyone's effort all the way to the very end and critical moments. And it certainly prepares you for moments like that you'll have in the future. I think there's a lot of things that we can get better at, and it's really focused on us. That's you do get an opportunity to get a jump on another team, but I think the thing that you have to do first is evaluate yourself. So that's what this week's really been about: us improving, getting healthy, focusing on those details.
And up next for the Ducks, a rematch of the 2023 Pac-12 championship game. Oregon will host the Huskies for Week 14.
The Ducks have yet to beat the Huskies under head coach Dan Lanning. That Pac-12 championship game went to the Huskies by 3 points, and Washington then used that win to boost them into the national championship game.
The Huskies sitting at 6-5 overall under first-year head coach Jed Fish. Also joining the Big Ten for the first year, they've struggled against teams like Washington State, Iowa, Indiana, and Penn State.
Kickoff time remains unknown. And regardless of a win or a loss next week, the Ducks will be in the Big Ten championship game. But a loss to an unranked Huskies team could drop the Ducks in the polls, similar to Alabama. Sorry, burn.
Not ending their playoff hopes, but putting a dent in their perfect season. Here's what the most recent playoff picture looks like. I hated that you just
You're
said
welcome.
that.
Oregon's still sticking at #1, following the Ducks, Ohio State, Texas, Penn State, and Indiana. Those will look different next week after Ohio State defeated Indiana.
Rounding out the top 10 is Notre Dame. Alabama, Miami, Ole Miss, and Georgia. That'll change up this next week. Again, things will look different as we get into the next rankings upcoming on Tuesday.
Yeah, and Florida also taking over against Ole Miss didn't look good.
That did not look good.
Well, coming up on game night, high school football semifinal matchups, and a few of our local teams will be there. Who will get the chance to advance to the title game?
Plus, NAIA Volleyball Championship opening rounds. That's coming up next. You're watching College Football Game Night.
Live from News Watch 12. Welcome back to College Football Game Night.
Saturday Night Lights made a return this week. A few of our local high school football teams back in action for state semifinals.
Winner of the semifinals moves on to the championship. So let's start things off with the reigning 4A state champions, the Henley Hornets, taking on Cascade.
Let's get to it. Win or go home. Cougars hosting Hornets at Mel Ingram Field. We take it all the way to the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left. Cascade leads 14-0. Mark Carpenter behind center tonight, stepping back, fires to the back of the end zone, connecting with Bryson Montag for the touchdown. 2-point conversion fails, 14-6.
Now only 26 seconds remain in the game. The season on the line, championship appearance on the line. Carpenter going to take it in for himself. He fumbles, but Montag jumps on it and a touchdown for the Henley Hornets. Henley has to go for 2 to tie it. The 2-point try. Carpenter rolls, then hits Connor Shively in the end zone. Henley ties it with barely any time left on the clock. We're going to OT.
Henley with the ball first to start, needing to set the tone. Carpenter gonna do it for himself, meets the end zone. The kid can do it all. Henley gets a stop and goes on to win it in OT. The final 21-14. Hornets heading back to the 4A state championship for the second year in a row. They will meet Marist Catholic again, the team they beat for the title last year.
Ooh, that's going to be one to watch.
Born to swarm.
North Valley on the road facing a tough Vail team in the 3A semifinals. The Knights fall 20-3.
North Valley finishes their impressive season 9-3 overall. Vail stays unbeaten. North Douglas Warriors on the road facing the Cross Point Christian Warriors. North Douglas rolls over Cross Point Christian 50-6.
They end their season 9-2 overall in the semifinals, and North Douglas also remains undefeated. Third overall seed in the NAIA Volleyball Championship, SOU hosting Reinhardt for opening rounds. A packed gym on Saturday night. We got the basketball, we got the football team, everyone there.
Lots of Raiders in the house.
First serve, the pass is there. The set goes to the right side, Megan Perry. It's blocked. She recovers, set it up again, keep feeding her. Cross-court slam. Perry gets the Raiders on the board first. Ball now through the block, and SOU loving that right side this season. And a stat. There's that. SOU gets set 1.
Eagles on offense in the second. Linda Koseko on solo block in the middle. SOU on a 5-0 run. Eagles continue to attack Perry and Koseko, shutting down the outside hitter. 8-0 run becomes 13-4. SOU. Sadie Bird on the slide, untouchable. SOU takes set 2.
We're 1 set away. Marion Mackey from the outside, killing the defenders. Raiders tie it up at 2. Conseco, the big hit right past the blocker. Add more for SOU. Match point. Eagles set it outside. The hit out. Raiders sweep the Eagles. And for the 3rd consecutive year and the 13th overall, the Raiders are headed to the NAIA Volleyball Championship final site.
Well, blocking has been a really big focus for us, especially tonight. We talked about just having big open hands and pressing on the net, and I think we really did a good job at that. And then obviously when we're blocking well, then it's funneling for the defense, and the defense can get some pretty good ups. We talked about in the locker room that we're going to go get it. It's just another game, and we knew that, and so we just went out with the intention of we're going to put it all out there, and we knew this was our last game on this court too, so we just wanted to soak up every single moment.
We head out to Montana, Oregon Tech's second ever appearance in the opening rounds. We start in the first set. Owls up 2-0. Ball goes out to Savannah Stirk. She catches the defense off guard. It's a 3-0 run for Tech. Owls down by 1. Alexis Thayer ties it up from the middle.
Set point from the back row. It's Molly Grace right over the head of the Bulldogs. Owls take the first set. We jump to the third, 21-16. Bulldogs' right side hitter is stuffed by the Owls' front row.
Moments later, what a save by Paige Taveldi. Montana takes set 2 and 3 in the fourth. If it doesn't work the first time, try it again. Katie Hicks puts an end to it, but Tech can't hold on. Montana Western takes it 3-1.
I really like to see, and it's fun because I always receive these compliments after the game, is the way we hold ourselves. and struggle in hard times, and even after losses or in times when we're super down or they come back a lot. It's just we hold ourselves a certain way that it's like nothing's happening, and we don't pay attention to the outside world. We just focus on ourselves and our side of the court, and it just carries us a lot farther. I told them our future's bright. If we made it this far in 2 seasons, think what we can accomplish as we move forward. And with that as well, I already kind of gave my speech to my seniors, so all I asked for them is I just kind of gave them a hug.
So SOU now moves on to Iowa. Oregon Tech will end their season and start the off season. Second-year head coach, bringing them to the opening rounds.
Incredible run.
Yes.
Lots of players of the week, lots of accolades coming in for that Oregon Tech team.
Yeah.
Great to see. But
and we have 3 high school football teams moving on to
2 of them
state.
will play each other.
First time ever.
The Black and Blue Bowl returns to the championship game. That's going to be a fun one. We're going to have you locked and loaded with everything you need this week for championship Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, get your turkey because we got you ready.
Turkey, popcorn, stuffing,
anything, ham,
pie.
Bring it out.
I'm going to eat it all.
Oh yeah,
I'm so excited. That wraps it up for week 12 of the football season. For the latest news, weather, and of course sports, head to our website, krb.com.
A special edition of News Watch 12 is next. We'll see you then.